when you log into your Express Entry profile, you see that you have got invitation to apply. Congratulations for that. Once you check the invitation to apply, this is how you will get the invitation to apply letter. And when you scroll down, you see continue an application you haven't submitted. This is the place where your permanent residency application is sitting, and it shows when the date it was created and how many days you're left with to complete this application. So right now it shows 61 days as this invitation to apply had come today. So within 60 days, you will have to effectively complete all the document by continuing the application. You also have choice to decline this invitation. In case you have got the invitation to apply, you will be able to see that part even there. Also, what I had done was to create a small checklist on an Excel sheet, what you see right in front. And this really helped me to organize all the document what was necessary. Not just that. So if you go down below, you see I had also made a checklist of letter of explanation. Now this may not be needed for you. So while I was trying to find information on what all mistakes people have done, I could find passport, marriage, and what all can go in explanation, be it work experience like or job loss or company closure or company not able to provide reference letter. All those things I started to document much in advance, including government, military, and police service. So recently I had made one video and I saw some of the individuals who had not even worked in the military service. They got this question because they had some government experience. Information like, I have never served in military in the letter of explanation might have reduced the timeline. That's what I feel. That now going down, there could be other situation, name discrepancy, address history. I have made this checklist, and also before landing, you see here, one flight to book, luggage, carry-on bag, all those information I had captured. So if this helps you, you can find this on my website, CanadaTriedandTested.com. So you come here to the organized link page. On this page, I have organized everything, and just by coming down here, Canada calling checklist. Once you click here, it will automatically get downloaded without any sign up required. So your own document which you can customize and work with in case it helps you. Coming back to the application, continue application. If you're unmarried, you might not get this question. If you're married, you will get something like this. Do you or your spouse, common law partner, have any children? So here I've selected response as no. Whatever response it is in your case, you'll have to do that and then update information. Find out if you are eligible. You come to this page and here read this part. This is on the payment part, which you'll have to pay for application and RPRF. So if you're only paying for application fee, you select this. If you want to do both together, then you select this. In our case, we had selected this, and then next. Now we will come to this permanent resident application page where you have to complete this entire online application, as you can see here. So depending on chosen, you will get the entire detail like this. So in my case, I was accompanying the spouse. So this is entire primary applicant detail and then the spouse detail. Again, one by one, you'll have to keep completing. So organize all your document and then start with this application. Now, one challenge you will come across is when you're uploading document here as you're filling, there are restrictions when it comes to the size, and sometimes you can only upload one single document in a upload section. Now, if you have multiple documents which you need to upload, all you need to do is arrange that beforehand and keep it ready. For example, all your work experience, your pay stub, your anything related to work will go as one single document. Similarly, education, that will all be in one single document. You might have multiple pages. How you can make that into single document, I'll show you. And just by following this, you will get the right dimension and also the right size. Here in this example, if you see at this document 4, this is more than 5.5 MB. Sometimes you will not be able to upload even 2 MB file. And how to bring this down to a lesser size? All you have to do is, there are two methods. First one is when you're scanning your document, on the scanner, choose 96 dpi, 96 dot per inch. If you select that, it will give you a low resolution image or document. So you can check the size by coming to this section in the detail and you can see what the size is. If you still find this to be on higher side, or you're using, for example, mobile to scan all the documents and you see you don't have those adjustments, all you have to do is right click, open with Paint, and once this image opens in Paint, you see here, click Resize and Skew, And here you can reduce the percentage. Say I'm reducing 30%. Once I do this and OK and save this, after saving, you can see it has become 642 KB. So that's how you can reduce the size. When you have to upload file as single document, that is, for example, work experience, all your work experience related document you make into single PDF, all your education related document you make it into one single PDF. Similarly, letter of explanation can run into say multiple pages. How to make that into one single PDF? For that, you come to this website. The link will be there in the description. By using that, you will be able to use this for free. And once you come to create a design, click on resume. And now you see you get a blank template here. Now you will click on upload. Once you click here, you see here upload file. You click and select the folder where all your files are. Once you come to the folder and you find all your files, just select all of them. For example, we select this and open. All your file will come and sit here. For example, we see now these 3 files. To make it into one single PDF, click on the document here. Once you click here, this comes and sits here, you see, and you can adjust the size. Then add page, click on second document, adjust the size. Once this is done, add page, click here, adjust the size. So say you are making 3-page document into single PDF. To do that, come click on share and here click on download. Once you have selected, you see file type. Here you have 2 options, PDF standard, PDF print. We will be going for PDF standard. Once we click this, all you need to do is download. So there are 3 pages, all have been selected here. Click download and you see now you have a single PDF document which can be uploaded. So document 1, 2 and 3. And by coming to this section, you can see what is the size of that document. Make sure to relabel and that will make it convenient when you're uploading. You go to the right document. Once this is done, you can see these are all my document which I had uploaded for Canada PR. So this is quite old. You can see here a long time ago. So once everything is arranged, we are ready to start filling in all the information what is required. This page, as I will keep completing, you will see this complete tick replacing in progress. So let me fill this and then I will go one by one from start. Also, one more important thing is once you become a PR, when you go for your citizenship, again these information will be asked and numerous time you'll have to fill this information. So make sure you are keeping this safe somewhere, all that you are filling. That way you also have a record of what you have filled. So what I do is I use this tool, which is a Chrome extension called Go Full Page. As you can see, I have this. So all I do is come to the page which has been filled, click here, click on Go Full Page, and now it is copying the entire page and it gives to me in either a PDF form or a PNG form, whichever I want. So once I save this, I have this for future reference on what I have exactly filled. This way, whatever I have filled in all of this comes page by page. So this is one way I have all my record. Now you see, I have completed everything and that's why it shows status as complete. And this is how it will look when you complete everything. So let's go one by one into each one. So once you click here, update form. So here you see these are pre-filled from what you had earlier given during pre-IT. So same thing comes here. And once you come down here, has this person ever used any other name? So you'll have to select your option. If you had any other name, you'll have to select yes. If not, select no and then click next. Again, in the personal description section, gender, date of birth is pre-filled from what you had earlier filled and this won't change. You can see here, these are locked. Coming to country of birth, city of this information, make sure you're not making any mistake. You can look at your passport, your birth certificate, wherever that details are given as you would be submitting those details in the upload section. Once this entry is made, country of birth drop down, you select whatever it is and likewise city of birth or town of birth, all these are required field. You see, anything which is written as required is a required field. Now let me come down. Here height has to be given either in centimeter or in feet and inches. So both metric will not be accepted. Once you make an entry, it will show error. You can try it. So I've given here in centimeters. If you don't know what your height is, just go to any nearby clinic where they have the height measurement facility. Get it done and make sure you're entering the correct height here. Eye color, again from this drop down, you choose the eye color. So these are all the options. I have made the selection here. Like once you make this, you click next. So here you see marital status is shown. In case you are single, you might get different. If you're divorcee, you might get different. So according to your situation, you might see this differently. However, it's quite simple. As you can see in the marital status, these are all pre-filled. Before ITA, what was filled, that shows up. And then date of marriage, start of common law relationship. So that date will get entered from this drop down, and you will be submitting the marriage certificate as the proof. So whatever is there in the marriage certificate, make sure that detail is captured correctly. And has you been previously married or in common law relationship, you will have to select the option from this drop down, and once that is made, you click next. So this is the identity document section. Tell us about travel document. If you do not have passport or travel document, tell us about his national identity document. If you are in express entry, I am hoping that you will have your passport. If not, get the passport made, because that will be required for you to apply for express entry. Once you have the details, I have already pre-filled that part and that shows up here. We go up. All you need to do is make a selection. If it is yes, you select yes, and then document ID type. In my case, I have selected passport. So once that is done, the document number as exactly it is shown in the document. If it is passport, enter that passport number, country or territory where it was issued, issue date, expiry date. Just straight out of your passport, transfer that information, and once you do save and add, you will see detail like this, as you can see here. Then, are you lawful permanent resident of United States with valid US citizenship and immigration service number? If you have to select yes. If not, select no, and then click next. This is about previous application to Canada, country of citizenship, and the country where he/she currently lives. Depending on your circumstances, if you're applying from outside Canada, your response is going to be different if you're applying within the Canada. For example, some of you would have come on study visa and then got work permit and now applying PR. In that case, the response will be little different. In case you came on a work permit and now you're applying for permanent residency, then your response is going to be little different. So, have you applied to Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada before? So here in this case, from the drop down, yes has been selected. Have you applied for permanent residency before? Response again has to be selected from here. Then if you have unique client identifier number, then you will have to enter this number. So basically, if you would have come on student visa or work permit, you would have got this UCI. You can check your document. You will find it there. So make that entry. Then country of citizenship. If you are citizen of any one country, you enter that detail. And if you have multiple country, then you can do an insert row and add the other country detail here. We come down. You will choose the country of residence where you are currently staying, and the province or territory or state. You make a selection based on that. It will show here, and then the postal code. So that entry has to be made. If it is Canada, the postal code will have to have a space. If you don't give a space, it will not accept. You will any which ways, when you go and do the check for completeness, you will get an error. So once this detail is entered, you click next. This is the family section, and here information about your family is required. So how many family members do you have? This includes you, your spouse or partner, dependent children and their dependent children. If you have any doubt, just click here on this question mark and it will give you more clarification. So here, depending on the family size, you make the entry from this drop down. Once this is selected, how much money will you be bringing to Canada to support yourself and family? So you write down the amount. What is important to note here is this table on family size and what the amount minimum required is. Now, if you are applying under this class, then you need to show the proof of fund. And if you fall under any of these, then you don't need proof of fund. Depending on your circumstances, once you make an entry, in the upload section, you will see how those details will be getting uploaded. In my case, for the proof of fund, since at that time I was applying from outside, I had kept the money in saving account and I had not touched that part, whatever the minimum requirement was. And that was in account for more than 6 months when I did my application filing. So in the upload section, I had given the statement as the attachment, and then I also had money in something called as provident fund, which I had shown. So stock, mutual fund, I had not shown that as proof of fund because the values keep fluctuating. I have made a detailed video on that, on how the entire proof of fund was shown. Once this entry is made, next is, do you have a relative who is a citizen or permanent resident of Canada? Relative must be 18 years or older and living in Canada. So you will have to select your response from yes or no. In case you have, it will be yes. If not, no. Then let's come down. This is the immediate family member that have not been identified in the application. This is apart from who have so far been identified in the application. If you have parent, any spouse, common law partner, any children including adult children, any brother or sister, if relative is deceased, provide date of death. You will start filling in this detail one by one. This is the drop down section. You see here, brother, common law partner, daughter, father. So it's a long list. So you will keep selecting one by one. Enter the first name. Don't make any mistake here, because whatever you enter here is going to follow you when you go for your citizenship, when you have to apply for anyone's visitor visa. So all those things you have to keep in mind. Or once you make an entry of last name, first name, make sure everything is correct and as per the record. Then gender, date of birth. Let me come down. In case the person is deceased, then you will select date of death, and then country of residence, city and town. Once you have made an entry and you save, you will see the family detail like this added one by one. You can go and modify in case you want. If you find anything wrong, you can update that, or you can also delete the row. So make sure you're entering the family member detail. Spouse section is separate, where spouse with their family detail. It's important that you cover all family member possible. And once that is done, have it told us about all relatives? You will choose your answer from here. Once that is done, save and exit. Next is contact detail. So as I said, once you complete everything, you can click here to check completeness, and that will show you if everything is complete or not. Language of correspondence, you have two options. So select the option you have, then click next. Then you select the telephone detail. So telephone type from this drop down, you can select the one what is in your case, and then you will select the country and territory. If it is Canada, US, you select this. If it is any other country, you select this. And then once you enter your telephone detail, that will show up like this once you save and add. Down, if you have fax number, you can provide it here. Fax number, select your option and then click next. So you will enter your email address. That will be the mode of communication. You can read this here. And once that is done, you click next. Mailing address, you will end. If you have PO box number, you will end. Then your apartment unit number, street number, address, street address, if applicable, and city and town. So whatever is shown as required is mandatory field. Remaining, depending on how your address is written, you can enter detail. We come down, then you choose your city and town, country, province, state, postal code. This detail is entered. Here you see the postal code. I have not given any space, but it is still accepting. So if that be the case, it's all good. Don't have to worry as long as details are matching. Click next. This is the address history section. Again, very important, because whatever you enter here, make sure keep that record, because when you're applying for your citizenship, again the same detail will be asked, and it becomes important that you know what exactly you have entered. So in this address section, you have to give in this addresses where you have lived in past 10 years or since 18th birthday, whichever is most recent. So depending on your age, you can make that calculation, and you make sure you're not leaving any gap. That is when it comes to month and year. So you will start entering your detail. Is this your current address? You will select the option. If it is your current address, yes. And then since what year you have been staying here, that you will select month and day. So that's why I said, remember what you're entering and keep a record of this. And if you have an address which is ending on say 15th of a month, then the next address, make sure there is no gap. And if there is a gap, it will show error. So once you have made the entry of address, street number, address name, let me come down. Whatever is shown as required, these are mandatory field, city, country, district, and you do save and add. So each of the addresses will be filled one by one, And once you do save and add, it will come and sit in table form like this. And just check, recheck, cross check, make sure there are no gaps. And once you satisfy, save and exit. You also have option to modify, delete, and if you want to add, I've shown you, you just go and enter and then save and add. Once this is done, save and exit. Now we come to the study and language. Once we click here, update form, native language. So you will select the native language from this list. And once the selection is made, come down, click next. Here, we are here on the education history section. And this is the assessment which will be done for the score, secondary and post-secondary period of study for eligibility of express entry. And this is what will be used for calculation. So make no mistake, I have already pre-filled, and that's why this education history section is shown here. Bring that, make sure you're not making any mistake. So from this, you will select if you have completed high school or any higher education, including university, college, vocational training. So once that selection is made, you will select the field of study from this drop down. And once you've made that, since what year, you have to make that selection of the year and month. Once this is made, was this a current study period? If it is yes, you make that selection. If it is no, you make that selection, and then we come down. Here you tell when this course ended. Once the course ending detail is mentioned, how many academic year it took to complete, you make that entry here. So if you have any doubt, you click here. These are all required field. Once you click here, you must enter the number of full academic year you completed, supported by final transcript. If you are outside of Canada, you might be asked for the transcript detail. So keep filling this full-time, part-time study. So select the option, and standing at the end, anything you got like certificate, diploma, degree, you make that selection. Then you select the country of study. So for example, I'm selecting India. Then you enter city, town, name of the institution, and level of education. Once this entry is made, and when you select if you are awarded Canadian degree, diploma, certificate for this period of study, based on your response, when I'm selecting no here, you see, have you been given any education credential assessment in the past 5 years for this degree, diploma, certificate? You have to make that selection. You would need education credential assessment if you are applying from outside of Canada. So once you make that selection, the organization from where you got that you will select, then you will enter when that ECA was issued, the date and time, and you will enter the ECA number. For example, this is the ECA number, and then what was the equivalency that certificate was, what was given by this educational credential agency. So you will make that selection, and once you make that selection, you will go and save and add. So whatever education detail you keep capturing, that will show up like this in the table. So check, recheck, cross check, and once this is done, come down and click next. For the official language, from this drop down, you will either choose English. If you have both English and French, or French, whatever it is, you will make that selection. So once the selection is made, you will give details about what the assessment was. So was this an approved language test to assess the English skill? I've selected yes. And language test taken. So these are the option for English. So I have selected IELTS. Let me come down. Language test version, IELTS general, then language test date, date of result, and the certificate number. Then what was the score that was got? And have you taken approved language test to assess language skill, that is French language skill? I have chosen response as no. And once this is entered, in case you have French also, once you make a selection yes, you'll have to fill up those details. So once this is done, come down and save and exit. We come to the application detail section. Click here, province and territory of interest. Here from the drop down, I've selected Ontario. You make a selection, whichever province interests you. Once that is made, in which city, town does you intend to reside? Again, from the drop down, make a selection, click next. Have you received nomination certificate from province or territory? If it is yes, once you click here, you will be asked some more question like which province. Otherwise, if you don't have, select no, save and exit. Coming to the representative section, click here. So here basically you can appoint a person to do business with Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada on your behalf. This will allow them to have your information to any appointed person, such as an immigration consultant, lawyer, friend, family member who can contact the IRCC on your behalf. If you have anyone, then you make a selection based on what your case is, whether it is representative, designated individual, or you have both. representative and designated individual or no. So in my case, I've selected no and save and exit. Work history, again, very important. Click update form. In this occupation section, you select the primary occupation, that is your 5-digit NOC, based on which your determination for eligibility or score will be done. So this gets filled. You can choose from the drop down, whatever it is in your case. Then you enter date first became qualified to practice in this occupation. So you enter the date and month. Once that is done, click next. Do you have certificate of qualification from a Canadian province or territory? Then you have to make selection accordingly. Once this is done, you click next. For the intended work in Canada, do you have any job offer? You make the selection between yes and no, and then you click next. On the work history, you will have to enter all your current and previous job. This includes all the job what you have done. Only thing what you don't enter is any apprenticeship process. Remaining any job you have done, that will have to be listed. So basically, do you have any work history? Here my response is yes. Then you enter what year and month. If this is your current job, you make the selection. Then if that work ended, when did it end? You make that entry here. Then you enter how many hours per week. This is again everything what is shown as required. Everything what is shown as required, you have to mandatorily enter. So hour per week, that gets entered. 5-digit knock code. So you make the selection from this list. Then your job title as it is given in your offer letter, because offer letter and all those documents you would be sending as attachment, or you would be sending a document which you get from company where all these details will be mentioned. So once you enter your job title, employer name, if it was self-employed work, you tick this. Then you select the country, territory, city and town. Once you make a selection and you save add, so for each job you will keep adding and make sure there are no gaps when you're filling. Add every job you have done in this list. So once you have done that, you will be able to see the work history like this. So if you have worked in more than one job, you will see that detail here in this table. Once this is done, click next. This is the research section, and you see here, this is just a series of questions. IRCC will not use this information for research, performance measurement or evaluation purpose. Just to understand where you stand in terms of your research, and do you agree to answer this question? You'll have to choose your answer. If you say no, then you will not get asked this question. If you say yes, then have you looked for job in Canada in your primary occupation? What best describe the last action you took? So these are the options. You make your selection. Have you checked to see if your education and work experience in your primary occupation would be accepted in Canada? So you have to select your option. Then let's come down. Have you checked to see if your education and work experience in your primary occupation would be accepted? Make a selection. Then with whom did you check? Mark all that applies. So from this, you will select whatever option it is. Some jobs are regulated in Canada. You would need a license or certification to practice these jobs. Do you know if your primary occupation or trade is regulated? So you'll have to select your answer again here. And once you make that selection, then come down and save and exit. Now we are here on the personal history part. Click here. Here on the personal activity, your personal history in the last 10 years or since your 18th birthday, if this was less than 10 years old. Depending on what your age is and what it is, you will select this. So in my case, I am showing last 10 years, and it has to start with the most recent information under activity type, what I was doing, and what has to be ensured that you don't leave any gap in time. For example, you were unemployed for a period of time. You still have to show that in this table what you will be creating one by one. Anything you have done, you show that. If you are unemployed, you can write it down and you can show that duration. And in the letter of explanation, you can add what that was, as you will not be able to show everything here. Please ensure that you do not leave any gap in time. You can tell us about each period by filling in the fields below. Check the list at bottom of the form first to see information you have already saved. When you click save and add, each period will save to the list. The field will go blank to let you add another period. So as you keep filling and adding, the field what you will see below will become blank for you to fill the next one. Then you can modify, delete if you want, which you have already saved. Provide complete detail of military or paramilitary service for any country in whose armed forces you have served at any time. List any government position such as civil servant, police officer, employee in security organization, which you have held at any point, any time. Include positions you have held before and after retirement. Make sure if you fall under this category, this is covered. A lot of people, they ignore this part or they don't look at this part and then they keep getting questioned. List any organization you have supported or have been member of or been associated with at any time. Include any political, social, youth and student organization, trade union and professional associations. Do not use abbreviation. So make sure you're following this and start filling the detail. So here from the activity type, you have this list. You'll select the activity. In case you are employed, employment. In case you are in military, you'll select military. If you are unemployed, make sure you're selecting that option. And once that is selected, then you enter the year and month since when this was. If it is ongoing, you will select this part. If not, you don't select this and enter from to. When did it end? Then describe the nature of the job, title, position as much as possible. This does not have much space, so anything beyond this, the words are not getting accepted. So whatever you can fill within this space, make sure the job title, position, everything, and if it is related to the knock against which you have applied, make sure that detail reflects here. Once this is done, provide the name of company, employer, school, facility as appropriate. So enter that part. And once that is done, select the country where it was, come down, city, town, where the activity took place. So as you keep entering and adding, you will be able to see the table like this. Again, as I said, no gap. Everything has to be covered. In case there is any unemployment, even you show that part. And once that is done, do a check, recheck, cross-check. After you have checked everything, come to this part. Have you listed all period of military service or government position, if any, and all of the government that you belong to? So you'll have to select this option, yes or no, and then click next. One thing I forgot to tell you, I have made a separate video on military service, police service, how those forms get filled. So in case you have any of this, you might find that video useful. So the link you can find in the description or on my YouTube channel. So coming to the travel history, again, you'll have to give all trips which you had taken outside your country of residence in the last 10 years or since your 18th birthday if this was less than 10 years ago. And you will have to include all trip, be tourism, business, training, etc. So you can look at your passport. Your passport will have all the visa stamping, in, out, all those things. Looking at that, you can start filling in detail in case you have trip. Otherwise, you select no as the option. If you have, you select yes. And once you start to make entry from to, if it is ongoing, you come down, country of visit, city, town, purpose of travel, and then you keep adding. That travel history table will start to come here. So once that part is done, click next. This is a statutory question. Go through each of this question and make sure you're answering to best of your ability, either yes or no. So all my responses you see here are no. And once this is done, you go and save and exit. So far we saw how the primary applicant details have been filled and status shows complete. So check, recheck, cross-check, make sure all the entries what you have made is correct. Go slow. Once everything is done and you are sure that everything has been filled and you see the status as complete, then similarly for the spouse, except the application detail and representative, rest of the form is same. Once we come down here, you see personal detail, contact, study and language, work history, personal history. So spouse detail again will have to be filled. And once that is complete, you will see the status as complete. If you are single, you will not get this section. Once this is done, you can continue. This is the document checklist section where you will start uploading all your document one by one. So this is passport upload section, marriage certificate or license, upfront medical exam. Post October 1st, 2023, you no longer need to do upfront medical exam when you are filling your express entry profile. And if you have never done this IME, just upload blank document in the upload field of express entry profile builder, and then wait for the instruction for the medical exam. Then you can read this part. Right now, you don't have to do your medical. And also, if you have already completed the IME before, that is when you came for work or study, and you're currently living in Canada, you may not even require to complete another one. Basically, the panel physician who completed your exam, they would have given you this information printout sheet, IMM 1017B upfront medical report form. So you could provide copy of these documents or your IME number. This is the unique medical identifier number from your previous medical exam when you apply online. You can just upload that part if you came on work or study permit. Then in case IRCC is not able to use the old result, they will send you the instruction on how to get medical exam done after you submit your app. I'll show you where you can find details of medical exam, but at the moment you need not worry about. This is the page where you can go and find the panel physician. For example, I'm selecting India. Once I do the selection based on the country, you will this list of places depending on city where you live. The address will be given. You'll have to get the appointment done with them and get the medical test done. So they also directly send the details to IRCC, but you will get a copy. Education, again, all the educational detail, your degree certificates, your education credential assessment if you have, your mark sheet, your language proficiency transcript, all those things, make it into one single PDF. And I have shown you video how you can get it done into one single PDF easily. Same goes for the police certificate. You see here, it shows India because the history showed stay in India. So for the police certificate, if you are say in India, it's quite easy. You just walk into the Passport Seva Kendra, you pay a prescribed fee, and that will be done and given to you. If you are here in Canada, then you have to go through an agency called BLS who acts as a liaison between you and the government of India, and they will get the police certificate done. If you are from any other country, you'll have to figure out how to get that. So these are all time-consuming activity. That's why you'll have to plan this much in advance and plan it well. So as soon as you get your ITA, you start getting these things organized. Employment record, all the employment record again into single PDF for the upload. You have to make it ready. In this, you can add your pay stub, your job responsibilities, anything which highlights the title, which helps giving all the detail to show that it aligns with the NOC against which you are applying. Best is to reach out to company HR and ask them to give in a format what IRCC wants. I made a separate video. Some of the HR practices are to give a standard template, and if they know it is for immigration purpose, they may not even give. So I made a separate video on how you can reach out to your HR informing that you are appearing for an exam, and based on those details, they will surely give you what is required, and that way they are giving you what you actually are doing. Then proof of financial support. In my case, I had got bank statement. I had in India, we have something called as Provident Fund. So those documents were consolidated and that was uploaded here. Then the digital photo as per the requirement. Once you click here, you will get the size and the dimension, what is required. So make sure when you are getting all these things done, you get as per the requirement. So all the uploads have a restriction. For example, photo has 4 MB, and this optional document here, you can upload letter of explanation. Keep the letter of explanation in simple English, straightforward, and give as much as detail as possible to IRCC, which might help them to understand your situation better. So it could be one single letter of explanation having multiple situations being addressed. For example, you find out that your passport has expired and renewal is going to take place and you have applied for renewal. You're not able to upload the latest one. You could make that explanation in that letter of explanation and can give them additional information on what you have done. Similarly, for marriage, if there is anything specific to be told, or if you're not able to get a letter from a particular company about your employment record, what all you have done or gathered as an information to give that additional information to IRCC. There is a detailed video on letter of explanation. Again, the link will be there in the description. Similarly, detail will be filled for spouse. In case you have selected spouse, then you would get this. where you can go and upload document for the spouse. And in case you want the letter of explanation to be given for spouse, this can go in spouse section. Once this is done, so you see here, now that documents are uploaded, I have named as per the document. That makes it easy to identify. So labeling is important. That helps you not to make any mistake. So once everything is uploaded and you see here, that means it has got uploaded correctly without any issue of size during the upload. Once everything is uploaded, you see, including the letter of explanation, you can come down here. Everything is uploaded. Then you get the fee. This fee you get to see, which is estimate. So once this is done, you click next. This is the declaration and electronic signature page where you come and look at the checklist. So it shows uploaded, not submitted. Once we come down here, uploaded, not submitted, and then you get to see the summary of fee, what you will pay. And then there is a privacy notice, declaration, disclosure, and here you do I agree. Then the primary applicant gives the signature. So here given name comes first, last name comes second, and then you enter the security question which you had created initially at the time of creating express entry. So once this is done, you sign and all your documents will get transferred, and then you will get the payment page where you have to go and do the payment for start of process. Once this is done, your job is done. Sit back and relax. IRCC will start with the process. In case they have any question, come back and ask only if they have question. Otherwise, the process will continue, and then you will keep getting update on what the process is. Meanwhile, start to research for Canada, how you can find job, how you can settle, and all those aspects. And congratulations again. Thanks for watching.